Hey guys, it's Cheryl and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my January knitting podcast. I'm really excited to be filming the first knitting podcast of the year. I have a lot to show you guys, so I'm really stoked. Let's get started with my one singular FO of January. I cannot believe I only finished one thing, but it is one thing that I'm wearing and I am incredibly proud of and already completely obsessed with. This is the Fancy Jacks sweater. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it is by Colibri by Johanna. I will link the Ravelry information all down below for you guys, but I am entirely obsessed with this. If you saw my exposing my whips of 2022, you will have seen that I was working on the body of this sweater. I think I knit this guy in about a month. I remember I cast it on, so you work the yoke separately. So you work the front and then you work the back and you kind of join them together to work on the body. And I did the front yoke and then part of the back yoke whenever I purchased the yarn a couple of months back, and then in January I got really motivated and picked it back up because I really wanted to wear this in the winter, and time's running out, and so I knew that I wanted to wear it because it's knit up with Drops Nepal, which is I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this yarn, but it is 65% wool and 35% alpaca, and it is kind of a little bit of a heavier, warmer yarn, and so I really wanted to make sure that I knit it up and was able to wear it this winter. So the motivation came back, and I actually finished this on the 29th of January, so I managed to just get it in the time to finish for this knitting podcast. And there's already, I'll show you guys better clips, but there's already a little bit of pilling going on. But I just got back yesterday, the day before yesterday, from my trip in Scotland. I was in Scotland for about 5 days, and I think I wore this sweater almost every day. I think one of the days I only wore it for like half of the day, but I wore this guy all the time because it was freaking cold, and I had another sweatshirt with me, but this guy was just way warmer. So considering how much I wore it, a little bit of pilling is okay. I wore it with a jacket, without, with a backpack on and everything. Like, this guy has been through the ringer for 5 days and he's doing pretty okay. He's not a complete FO, admittedly. There's a lot of ends that I have to weave in, like a lot of ends, but I've worn them and I've just kind of been tucking them away every time they come out. But yeah, I love this sweater. Again, I will leave the Ravelry information below, but I used shade 100 for the kind of nude color, and I used shade 506 for the charcoal. Whenever I saw, so Johanna's one of my favorite knitters. I love a lot of her stuff. I have another whip of hers that I'm working on. I have so many other things in my queue. And whenever I first saw her like starting the construction of this sweater, I knew that I wanted it, and I wanted it now. And so whenever the pattern came out, I immediately purchased it, and I got really excited. And I'm such a person, I love knitting with color. That's something that I mentioned in my goals for 2023. My knitting goals is that I want to knit more neutral pieces because I knit with a lot of color, and that's great, but I feel like I'm missing some of those staples. So with this, even though she knit hers in like this color scheme also, and it's kind of boring, I knew that I wanted to do it because I kind of feel like I would get the most wear out of it, and I was not wrong. On the trip I wore it all the time, and I think this is going to be such a staple in my wardrobe. I was a little bit worried about the fit, and it's not perfect. I think I could have sized down. I believe I knit it in an extra large, and I mean, that's typical drop shoulder construction, but there is a lot of space between my actual armpit and the armpit of the sweater, so it's definitely very oversized, but I still think it works. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, my first FO of the year and my second ever my second ever finished sweater, garments, whatever you want to call it. So I'm really excited about it, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of this guy on my Instagram and everything because I'm entirely obsessed. Next, moving on to the whips, I don't have honestly a lot because a lot of my focus went onto this guy and to something else that I'll show you guys in a second. But I also have some socks that I'm working on. I think this guy is technically a February knit. I think I started this guy just before my trip, which means I casted it on in February, but you know what? I'm just gonna show it because this yarn I did purchase in January. This is Drops Fable. I'm not 100% certain on the shade. I will put it on screen. but I'm knitting a pair of socks for my sister. So Sophie, if you're seeing this, these are for you. But yeah, I'm obsessed with the colors. I think they're really, really nice. I always love this kind of sections here that are like not solid, that have the little spots and everything. I think they look really, really nice. This is not the softest sock yarn out there compared to like hand-dyed yarn or really like higher quality yarns, but it's a good budget friendly option and I really like the color of it. So that is a sock that I'm working on. I think I have about 10 rounds to go before I'm gonna start the toe, maybe a little bit more. I'm using the Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock pattern on 9-inch circulars for this sock. The other socks that I've done in the past, and one of them that I'll show you guys, is I'm honestly not sure of the pattern name or designer, but I will link it down below. But it's a 3x2 ribbed sock. So I'm playing it a little bit by ear because I'm not exactly sure how she does the toe construction or if that's any longer or shorter than the ones I'm used to, but really excited about this. I'm also knitting on these. If you watched my whips video, you'll have seen that I kind of was halfway through the foot of this sock and I casted this sock on forever ago. I finally finished the first sock. The second I have not started because I want to prioritize some gift knit socks, so I'm knitting both of my sister's pairs of socks. I'm not sure when they'll get them, whether they'll get them as like a random gift or whether I'll give them for birthdays. I'm not too sure yet. I also owe my dad a pair of socks, so these guys are going to be on the back burner for just a little bit, but this is knit up with my own sock yarn, which is really exciting. This was one of the first skeins of yarn that I dyed, and it's my Van Gogh colorway. And I'm obsessed with it, and this is a nice soft sock yarn. 75% merino wool and 25% nylon, so makes it, the merino just makes it a little bit more luxurious, a little bit softer, and I'm really excited about finishing these because my own hand-dyed yarn, how fun is that? So you've seen this before. I thought I would quickly show it because it's something I'm still working on. The next whip that I spent a decent chunk of January working on is a gift knit for my sister for Christmas. So I've been so bad with this one. I need to do better at knitting it, but the scarf itself is done. I'm just working on the stripes, but one of the stripes I did okay, but this one stripe here I was trying to do it too fast, and so the tension of the stripe is way too tight that it's like bunching. I don't know how much of that you can see, so I kind of want to redo at least that one, maybe even both stripes, and then also add tassels on the end. But I'm obsessed with this color combo. If you go over to my Instagram, you'll see my sister's dog posing with this scarf, and it's really freaking adorable. But yeah, this is knit up with drops brushed alpaca and 2 strands held together. Again, all of the shade names I do not know, but I will link my Ravelry project for you guys. I don't have too much left of this. The stripes shouldn't take me too long, a few hours, but this is what a lot of my January was spent knitting on, this and this sweater, which is why I don't have a lot of FOs, but this guy's almost done. I don't think you'll see this as an FO in my next podcast because by that time I'll have gifted it to my sister, but again, if you want final looks, head over to my Instagram or my Ravelry page and you'll see everything over there. My last whip is, again, one that you would have seen in my whips video. It is my Ingrid Top by Gregoria Fibers. I whizzed through this guy so freaking fast. I casted it on, I think, just before the New Year, and we were in France for New Year's, and I whizzed through this guy like no other, like so freaking fast. Granted, it's a top with eyelets, so it knits up pretty quickly, but then I got to the bottom hem, I suppose, and I needed to downsize to 3.25mm needles, and I had some in my Lika sets, but I managed to sit on them and snap them, and so I've been meaning to purchase 3.25mm needles since, and I just haven't because you can't really find them in shops here in Rotterdam. If you order them online, you have to pay for shipping unless you're ordering a bunch of yarn, and I did place a yarn order, but I completely forgot to add the needles to my cart. So in Scotland, I finally picked up 3.25mm, so I actually started knitting on this guy again today because I'm very excited to finish this. I know it's nowhere near summer, We still have a couple of weeks left before spring starts, but even wearing this over top of like a long sleeve white turtleneck top, I think could be really cute. So I'm very excited about this guy, and we're almost done. We just need to do the bottom seam edge, it's not ribbing, I don't know what you call it, as well as the neck and the sleeves. So we're almost there, but this one I'm really excited about. So this will hopefully, and I think I have a pretty good chance of this being a finished object in February, so I'm excited about that. As for acquisitions, I didn't think I had a lot because I was supposed to be spending less money on yarn, and I have a lot of yarn that I need to get through, but I ended up purchasing some yarn. So the first yarn that I purchased is the yarn that I'm using for the Ingrid top. I bought it in France in a tiny little town where we have our holiday house, which we just moved into, and a really cute little yarn shop there, and it's Plessard, French branded yarn that I've never heard of, and it's the Tweedy yarn. It is a 98% cotton and 2% polyester. The polyester is the little tweed. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is in the shade 30, and it's just this beautiful like dusty baby pink with really fun bright speckles of like red and blue and green and yellow, and I think it looks really nice. I believe it's a sport weight, and I got like a whole pack of 10 skeins, and it was on offer from like 60 euros to 30 euros, which is why I purchased it. And I'm using a couple of skeins for this guy. I actually don't know how many. I think ultimately I'm going to be using 5 or 6 skeins for this one. I'm not too sure. But I'll have some left over to work on another project, which will be fun. So that's my first acquisition of the month. My next acquisition is 3 shades, and I know I only have 2 here, but I've managed to misplace the red one. I don't know where it is. I could not find it really quickly. So imagine a third little red guy next to this. But this is Concept by Katja Cotton in Love yarn, which is, let me triple check, a 50% cotton and 50% virgin wool. And I've been eyeing up this yarn for a while, but it's kind of pricey. It's not even crazy expensive, but I never really had the budget to purchase something for it. And then it went on sale and it became a decent bit cheaper. I got 7 skeins of this shade, which is shade 56. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna make like a top or an accessory or something out of it. Then I could not get this blue out of my mind, so I purchased, I think, 6 skeins of this blue. And then I saw this really pretty red, and I bought like 4 skeins of the red to make like a little bag or pouch out of. So yeah, we have a lot of cotton virgin wool yarn. So we'll see what we end up doing with this. I think some tops would be nice, or the red is definitely going to turn into like a little pouch or accessory bag of some sorts. But yeah, I am excited about it. I just have to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with it. So stay tuned for that, I suppose. Next is a whole collection of yarn. I wasn't really allowed to buy a lot of yarn. After I bought all this Katja yarn, I kind of said to myself, I'm on a bit of a no spend, but one thing I was allowed to do is spend my birthday money on yarn. So I got some money from my granddad and his partner, as well as my grandma and my parents, and most of the money from my parents I'm going to be purchasing something else with, but I bought yarn because I was like, I could buy myself a pair of sneakers, I could buy myself some more jewelry, but yarn is the thing that I'm most obsessed with at the moment, so that's what we're going to purchase. So I bought Drops Fable print, the blue one that you just saw, as well as this brown one, shade 912, which I want to knit up socks for my oldest sister. So Justine, if you're watching this, probably for your birthday, these are coming your way. I don't know. I'll see when I gift these to my sisters, but I only bought 1 skein of each, not realizing that I should probably buy 2 skeins of each. So at some point I'm going to have to buy 1 more skein of each because they're only 50-gram skeins. So we'll see. With my other sock, which I've already misplaced, here we go. I'm decently far into the sock and I have a decent chunk of yarn left. So I think with like a skein and a half, you can get a good, like a long pair of socks. Had I made them shorter, I could probably get 2 out of 1 pair skein, but we'll see. Maybe the ones for my sister, I might make them a bit shorter, or for my oldest sister, but we'll see. But yeah, Drops Fable, I wanted to knit some socks, so there's that. I also got some drops Bell, which is a 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 14% linen, and I believe it's a DK yarn, and I got it in shade 12, which is this really fun bright raspberry color. It's coming off a bit more red on camera. It's definitely more pinky, but this is, yeah, a really nice summery composition, I suppose, to make like a fun little bright tank top out of. I was gonna potentially make the 8 p.m. tank, is it called that? I don't know, 7 p.m. tank, or one of the tanks. I'm not too sure yet what I'm going to do with this, but I got a couple of skeins to make a little tank top out of, which I think will be really fun to wear with some jeans in the summer. And then I got some drops Sky and drops Kid Silk, which I was originally going to make the Arctic Light sweater by, which I mentioned in my 2023 knitting goals video. And I've started the yoke, but I'm kind of second guessing. This Sky yarn is a chainette yarn, and I'm not sure how I'm feeling with the chainette and the cables. So I'm thinking, because this is like a dream sweater of mine that I've been wanting to make for a while, I'm thinking that I'm gonna hold off with making that sweater by Sadness Garn Sunday or Double Sunday or whatever one that is the right weight of yarn, and make like the perfect sweater, because I'm not sure that I like the chainette texture with the detailed, very detailed cables. So instead with this yarn, I think I'm gonna make the Ian sweater. I don't know if that's correct, by November Knits. It's this gorgeous high neck, which I'm a little nervous about because I don't love high necks, but a higher neck sweater with this kind of really long split rib chunky section at the bottom. And I thought I would use this for that instead. So I forgot to mention, but Sky is in shade 2 and the Kid Silk is in shade 44, and it's just this really pretty light gray combo, which I'm really excited about. I just have to figure out exactly what project. I think the Eon sweater is going to be the one that I go for. But yeah, I'm excited about it. So that's my yarn acquisitions for the month. I thought what would also be fun, seeing as though I want to kind of go more into the hand dyed yarn world and dyeing my own yarns and selling them, I thought I would show whatever yarns that I've recently dyed. I don't believe that I dyed these in January. I may have dyed these up in December, but I thought I would show them to you guys anyways. And I will link my Etsy store down below in case you want to buy either of these. But this first one, I'm excited about how it turned out, but I think the yarn dyeing technique that I used for this one is not going to be my favorite. I still have to swatch these, but I have to take pictures of them and stuff first. But this guy is this kind of royally cobalt blue with this kind of peachy coral color together, and then when they overlap they become this kind of brownie nude, which I actually really like the look of. This is definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but I thought I would try a different yarn technique, and I am really excited to knit something up with this. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna add this to like permanently to my Etsy shop, because I'm not sure that I love how I dyed the yarn, but who knows. But this is the first one that I dyed up, and the second one, which I'm very excited about, I haven't twisted it up perfectly, it doesn't look very beautiful, but I'm much happier with this yarn dyeing technique, and I have I'm obsessed with the outcome of this. I think this is really pretty. So it's this kind of purple and teal with a little bit of, I don't know how well you guys could see that, but there's some nude patches in there as well. And then yeah, the teal and the lilac purple. And I'm really excited about this. I'm super stoked to see this knit up into socks as well. This one is definitely gonna go onto my Etsy shop. So if you're interested, go check it out down below, go like it, all that fun stuff. I would really appreciate that. But yeah, I thought it would be fun to share some of my hand dyed yarns with you guys so that we can see the progression throughout the year, and also so if you guys are interested in any of them, you can check them out. But yeah, I'm really happy with these, and I'm so excited to knit these up. I think that's the most fun part of hand dyeing yarn, is to get to knit things out of it, like my socks, and have projects that not only you knit up yourself, but you also dyed the yarn. Like, how cool is that? So yeah, that was everything. I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, and I will see you guys next week for a new video. Bye guys!